Paramount Global said late Tuesday that the company will pay $16 million to President Donald Trump to settle a lawsuit tied to 60 Minutes, betting that the payment will help the company's fortunes and speed a planned deal with Skydance Media even if it risks tarnishing one of the media giant's most storied brands. Paramount said in a statement that it had agreed to pay $16 million to President Trump to settle his lawsuit accusing CBS 60 Minutes of deceptively editing an interview with then-presidential candidate Kamala Harris and misleading U.S. voters, even though both the company and legal experts had said that Trump's position in the matter was weak. At issue was the October 2024 60 Minutes interview between correspondent Bill Whitaker and Democratic candidate Harris, presented on a special edition of 60 Minutes for weeks before the 2024 election. Trump allegations, filed in federal court in the Northern District of Texas in November, claimed that 60 Minutes tried to mislead voters by airing two different edits of remarks made in the interview with Harris, then Trump's rival for the White House. CBS has sought to have the case thrown out. The Federal Communications Commission subsequently opened an investigation into the matter, and CBS and Trump attorneys engaged a mediator. Paramount has scheduled its annual corporate meeting with investors for Wednesday, where it is expected to elect several new directors. Trump's co-plaintiff in the case was U.S. Representative Ronnie Jackson, a conservative House member whose presence allowed Trump to steer the case to a receptive federal judge in Amarillo, Texas, U.S. District Judge Matthew J. Kaczmarek. The lawsuit was filed 5 days before Trump won the 2024 presidential election, returning him to the White House just 4 years after he was defeated by Democrat Joe Biden. Trump's crusade against CBS and 60 Minutes has amounted to an extraordinary and disturbing flex of political power by a sitting president. Meanwhile, Paramount Global's handling of the matter sparked anger and dismay at CBS News. Top producers at 60 Minutes felt Paramount overseers, including controlling shareholder Sherry Redstone, had begun inserting themselves into the show's editing process and story selection, even asking news leaders if certain stories tied to analysis of Trump's recent policies had to run. Bill Owens, just the third executive producer of the venerable news magazine, announced he would leave the show in April, and the CBS executive who supervised its national news division and local stations, Wendy McMahon, exited in May. According to Paramount, the settlement does not include a statement of apology or regret, and that decision may help the company navigate what are likely to be furious reactions from its news personnel. CBS News staffers, producers, and correspondents at 60 Minutes have made clear that the thought of the show offering an apology for conducting an interview with Harris at a key moment would be anathema to anyone in journalism. Trump turned down the opportunity to take part in an interview with the show ahead of the election. None of the money will be paid directly or indirectly to President Trump, but will instead go toward his presidential library. The company also agreed that its venerable news magazine would, in the future, release transcripts of interviews with eligible U.S. presidential candidates after such interviews have aired, subject to redactions as required for legal or national security concerns.